Hi guys and welcome back to the channel. Today I've got two replays in the Soviet Tier 8 Tech Tree heavy tank, the IS-3. The original, old school IS-3. This is the one from the Tech Tree that leads to the i7 or the 277, and it is still a pretty good tank in this day and age. Now someone mentioned it on stream the other day, like, oh, what's the IS-3 like? And I was thinking, you know what, I don't really think I've played it for a very long time. And that's because, realistically, I've had the flavour of the tank from a lot of the premium tanks that we've basically got for free. From, you know, the Kirovets 1 or the Scourge, to the Stockade, to the IS-3A/Fatherland. You know, and I've played those tanks a lot. But because I've 3-marked the Tech Tree IS-3, and obviously I've ground through it years ago, there's no real reason to play it, especially when I obviously, like I say, I have other IS-3 variants that I have that I've not 3-marked and stuff like that to play. So it's like, you know what? Let's give the IS-3 a go again. Let's get out there and play it. The IS-3 has two skins. The one skin that you're seeing in this first game and the skin that you're going to see in the second game. So it has the Black Friday skin and this skin. They're both pretty damn nice skins. I think that, like, especially this one looks really cool, and they just add to the tank generally and how it looks. It's really quite nice, and it can be, like I say, it's still a pretty fun tank. The one thing that I do think that the IS-3 does lack a little bit is ammo, because as you can see, we've got 14 rounds of AP and 14 rounds of APCR, which is my loadout and has been my loadout for years. And yeah, it can run out of ammo. It's something you've got to be very careful of. It can do that, and it's a little bit awkward at times when it decides to do that. The gun on the IS-3, the BL9, is quite a nice gun. It's got 3-second aim time with 0.4 accuracy. AP as standard, which has the 225 penetration, and APCR as the premium, which has 265 pen. Which the APCR actually gets 1250 meters a second shell velocity as well, which is nicer than the around 1050 meters a second shell velocity the AP has. But the velocity is pretty damn decent. In terms of the accuracy and the aim time, it's generally better than a lot of the other IS variants, like the Stockade, like the Kirovets, like the IS-3A. The accuracy and aim time was always better, and I think its reload was ever so slightly better as well. I'm not so sure these days after all the buffs that the other tanks have got. But, like, I still say that the Kirovets 1 is just the better version of this tank and other IS variants in general. Obviously, not even thinking about the Object 7032 that's recently come out. Because the the Kirovets 1 has basically the same armor but better because it's flat, so it makes it easier to side scrape, because the pike nose can be a bit of a problem when you side scrape. And you've got a gun that has just as good a penetration, but you've got better shell velocity, and it just generally feels nicer to use. And the mobility is also nicer too, which is a glorious thing for the Kirovets 1. And generally, on the whole, it's just a generally better tank. But this tank still feels great. Like, the mobility still feels fine, the gun handling feels fine, the DPM feels fine, it can side scrape still like a boss, it still has the Soviet armor that just decides to be a black hole in terms of its spaced armor on its side. It's a pretty damn fun tank to play. It's pretty well balanced in this day and age. I remember the days, back in the days when everyone was like, oh my god, the IS-3's OP, and it's really not anymore. But I mean, that's power creep in general in this game, right? But it's a solidly competitive tank. You can do some good work in this tank, and you can be pretty consistent with it at times too. And it's still a tank that I definitely enjoy. I mean, I played quite a few games in it to get these replays, and it was fun going down memory lane almost. So what do I run in terms of a crew in the old IS-3? Well, I run Born Leader, Rapid Reload, Sixth Sense, Situational Awareness, Trap Mechanic, Clutch Braking, Steady Aim, Snapshot, Run and Gun. The 3 gun perks to make this gun as good as it can be, because it does have 0.4 accuracy, it does have 3-second aim time. You want to make the gun as good as it can, because it still can be a bit derpy at times, because it is Soviet. Clutch Braking, just to make the track traverse better, and then Trap Mechanic, because you are a brawling heavy tank, and the other perks are what you're going to take on most tanks in World War II in general. Now, obviously, that is a crew that you could interchange if you wanted to, so you could get rid of Clutch Braking and off-road driving to help the ground resistances to get to that top speed if you wanted to. You could run armor angling to reduce the amount of damage coming in. You could take rapid aim because the turret traverse is a little bit slow at times, so you could definitely make the turret traverse quicker with rapid aim. It's completely down to you. That's just a template, and you can set it up to how you want to play the tank essentially when you get to it. And then in terms of equipment, I run the advanced loader, the vertical stabilizers, or the gun stabilizer, and optics. Optics to be able to spot for myself because it does only have 350 meters view range. Gun stabilizer to make this gun as good as possible, and 10% better DPM is always lovely from the loader. Finished that first game with 3 kills, 4.4k damage, 1200 assistance, the ace tank of the high caliber, 1908 base XP, a pretty damn nice game there for the IS-3 on El Alamein in a tier 9 game. And here we are in the second replay, and this second replay we are on Vineyards, and as you can see, we're bottom tier, and we have the other skin, which is the Black Friday skin, which, again, I still think makes this tank look pretty damn cool. And on Vineyards, what we're going to do is we're going to go up north and go along the A-line, because from our spawn, the A-line is a good push, because you can get hull down at A5 if they push aggressively this way, and you can have a nice hull down fight. You can try and snipe at people that camp at D8. You can try and spot them and stuff like that. There's lots of different things you can do, but if you're aggressive enough, you can push straight over into A6, A7, get into the low ground at A7 and B7, and that way you can push in onto their side really quite easily and quite aggressively. But you do have to be careful doing that, because obviously you can get spotted and get shot at from this cross that you've just seen me take a shot from. And if you push aggressively and they do have some big guns camping at D8, a lot of the time they will probably spot you crossing, and you're going to take a big hit. And that's something you've got to be very, very careful of, because obviously that can be the end of your day very quickly, and wonderful times, basically. So I've decided in this game, yeah, we're being aggressive. There's nothing else spotted on the other side of this ridgeline. We're going to get to this little dip in front of me over here so that I can get safe. And as we're crossing, we spot the K91-2. We try and get the RBRT, and ouch! Ouch. That was a lot of hit points. That was 1,100 from that Ruthless. That's what I was talking about. You can take hits if you're not careful, and it's generally better to do that in a tank that's a bit quicker. So far, we are bottom tier. We've got 1,500 assistance from making that cross, because like I say, it does net you some good assistance. And we have 0 damage. We have no damage whatsoever. And we have 79 hit points, which is the worst start to a game we probably could have. Okay, that's a lie. We would have no assistance if that was true. But we've had a terrible start to this game because of it, which means we have to be very, very careful. So we are going to play very, very careful. And this is the whole never give up, right? Because we could easily go, oh, I lost all that hit points. Oh, screw my life. And then just rush in and die and give up, right? I've seen people take these sorts of hits and then just go AFK. Just fully give up, stop playing, and then complain. Don't bother. Keep going. Because you never know what you can do in this game. You can have 1 hit HP. You can have 1 hit point. But you still have a gun that hits for 390. And you can still shut down tier 10 tanks like that M60. If you use your tank correctly, if you play it smart, and you play very, very cautiously. So as you've seen, so far, we're up to 559 damage with a kill on that M60. We're now going to go try and find this Waffle. The Waffle is fully fixed on the 60 TP. He's now fired all of his shots because we counted the 4 shots. Because we know with that 128 he has only 4 shots. And we're going to follow the 60 TP in to try and get some shots into the Waffle. And the Waffle gets destroyed by the Jagdpanzer E100, so naturally we don't have to worry about that anymore. They do have 2 people in the cap, which is something that is a bit of a worry, because naturally we don't want them to go capping right now. We do get a shot into the side of that Ruthless. Revenge! Well, kind of. I mean, he hit me with 1,100 and I only hit him for 400. But we'll take the little slices of revenge. Now he's aiming at us. We snap the shot into his side. It pens him, tracks him in place. Glorious scenes. We're nearly equal on the amount of damage we did to each other. Nearly, nearly, nearly. He's still looking at me, which is a bit worrying generally, because we don't want to take that hit. I feel like I could ricochet the shot if he fires AP, but you never know with a Ruthless, or any 183 really, because they could just be firing Hesh, and then they'd just have to splash me to death. But he gets shut down by the FV 4005, which means we don't have to worry about that tank anymore. And good night, sweet prince. Good night. We're on to 1700 damage or 1700 assistance. Like I say, they are capping, which is something we've got to be very, very careful of. We load APCR because we want the APCR to be able to try and go through the side of, or even, you know, well, the angled side of the Type 4 Heavy there, but he gets shut down by the 50B. They still have 7 tanks that make that 6 tanks left, and we know where quite a few of them probably will be. There'll be probably quite a few people up at H0 and in that little corner at J9, because that's where people like to camp. Once you get to this position here at D8, you really do have to be pretty careful with how you maneuver up and reposition, because you get spotted, you're going to have a lot of shots fly towards you, and it's going to be pretty damn painful if that happens. So the GW Tiger gets spotted in the dip at F0, which is unsurprising. That tends to be where artillery will go to hide if they've run away. But our medium tank is running forward. We try and get a shot into the Hurlenhund there, who ends up spotting us. Unfortunately, we ended up missing that Hurlenhund, which is sad time. It was poor aim, really, but we do get the shot into him there, putting him down to a 1-shot. We are still lit, so we're just trying to be very, very careful not to take a hit from the back. But now that they are starting to get spotted on their sniper hill, so we get a shot into the side of the object 705A. We're unspotted still, so we're just waiting for our reload. We get another shot into the 705A, putting 705, sorry, not 705A, the tier 9 705. We're up to 3064 damage, and the 705 gets shut down. Now the Hurlenhund gets spotted. We snap the shot into him and shut down that tier 8 light tank. We're up to 3.3k damage with 1728 assistance. And it's decided it's time we're going to move up. We're going to move up, try and see if we can spot anything that's up there, try and see if we can get ourselves into a better position to get a shot, because I expect that they're now hiding in the corner behind the little ridges at K9, because that's kind of just where I expect them to be. But then we end up spotting the Foch. We try and snap the shot into the Foch's side. Unfortunately, we end up missing. And I think, oh no, I don't want to take that hit, so we run into the dip away from where his gun is. But he's decided to look somewhere else, so we get a shot straight into the Foch's cupola there for 331. A bit of a low roll, sad times. We get once again waiting for the reload to go through his side or his cupola. We get a shot into the side of him there that tracks him in place. We get detected again, so we're absolutely not taking a hit there from the Foch. He is the only tank left though, so we know that his gun is the only one that could actually shoot at us. So we're just being very, very careful. We are about to cap, but the 4005 ends up shutting him down. And for saying how bad that start was, we ended up making a really nice go of that game. We finished with 2 kills, 4k damage, 1728 assistance, the ace tanker, 1802 base XP. A really nice game for the IS-3 there in what was a terrible start in a tier 10 game. And yeah, the IS-3, it's just a pretty solid heavy tank in the tech tree. It can do quite a lot of different things. It's quite a lot of fun to play, and it's just full of nostalgia for myself, because, you know, it was like my, what, 4th? It was probably my 3rd or 4th tier 8 tech tree heavy tank. So as always, everybody, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.
A great success!